Hey guys, it's just a little Clothy, and today instead of this Monster Legends video, I'm going to be telling you guys the top 5 legendaries that I want mythic versions of. So if you guys haven't realized, recently they have been releasing a lot of mythic versions of legendaries. They just released a Madam Fusion one, and they released a Voltaic one in the same Legends Pass actually. So basically in this video, I'm just going to be telling you guys the top 5 monsters that I want mythic versions of. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so the first legendary I want a mythic version of is Wormlad. Wormlad is definitely one of my favorite monsters in the entire game. He was and still is an OP plus tier legendary, so he's probably the best legendary in the game. And he was just a great monster. He had area dodge as a trait. He had a bunch of different abilities that were just really good. He had some extra true moves. He has a team NER, negative effect removal, and regeneration, and precision move. And I'm pretty sure he also had, he has a total damage reduction, which is pretty good, and self skill mirror. And by the way, if you guys weren't playing during the time when he was meta, there was actually a time in the meta where everybody was just using 3 of him because he was just that good. So overall, he was just an amazing monster, and I would love to see a mythic version of him so that he can be just as good. And then the next legendary I want as a mythic is Greycon. Greycon was definitely the best denying in the game for a very long time. He had a really good double stun move, and he had area dodge at rank 5, which was of course just really good. And he actually doesn't have any cons on this website, which is really funny. Even Wormlad has some cons, but Greycon, he doesn't have any. So yeah, he's just a really good monster. He also had a move that could like do AoE cooldown activated, and he had an extra turn cooldown activated single target move, which were both just really good. And apparently he also had a single target mega stun with extra turn, which is really interesting. I actually didn't know that. But I do think you had to have him ranked up to get that move, which is why I didn't have it. But even without ranking him up, you still had access to some really good moves, like the self extra turn cooldowns activated move, the AoE cooldown activated move, and he had the double stun AoE move. So overall, he was an amazing legendary denier, so I would love to see a mythic version of him. So the next monster I have on my list is actually a group of monsters. I would love to see all of the Warmasters get a mythic version, mainly because we don't really have any good monsters to spend our orbs on. All of the Warmasters are actually, I mean, they're good, but they're legendaries, so they're kind of outclassed in the meta. So I would just love to see at least one mythic Warmaster that we can spend our orbs on. And the one that I picked in particular is Warmaster Ragnarok because he was my favorite. And it's kind of funny, he can be anything except a tank. He can be an attacker, a deny, and a support, just because he had such amazing moves. So some of his notable moves were a self-evasion, team negative effect removal. He also had a revive move, I believe. Yeah, ally resurrection with double damage and an extra turn, which is just amazing. And then he also had an ally negative effect removal, 100% heal, 100% stamina restore, and an extra turn. So yeah, just an amazing monster. He was really good because of his amazing moves. And he also had an amazing trait. He had True Vision, Anticipation, Hardened, and he would give your entire team a random Warmaster status caster, so you'd take one from a different Warmaster, which was really good because all Warmasters had like the best status casters in the game at the time. So yeah, overall Warmaster Ragnarok was really great. I would love to see a mythic Warmaster. And then the next monster was one of my personal favorites. It is Kihaku. He was definitely one of my favorite denies, and he was one of the best legendaries at the time. People used to always use him on their teams. The only reason people really stopped using him was because they did actually nerf him. They made it so that his move wouldn't hit as much. I believe it was this move right here. Yeah, it did AoE, possession, and freeze, which was amazing at the time, by the way. Possession was super good. And this move gave possession and freeze, and it usually hit every time until they nerfed him. So people just stopped using him. But yeah, he was definitely one of my favorites, and he was also used in the strategy where people just used a bunch of pestilence traps to just kill your team before they even got a turn in. And that was actually possible because most monsters didn't have that much HP. So if you just had 6 pestilence traps on all of your monsters, it was just really good and you could just kill their entire team. So yeah, overall really great monster, and I would love to see a mythic version of him. And then the next monster is one of my favorite supports. It is Demise. Demise was definitely one of the best supports at a certain time in the meta, and her main reason for that was because she had a single target double damage turn transfer move. So basically it gives double damage to an ally, and then it gives that ally the next turn, which was just really good at one point. And she also had an NER damage boost AoE move, which was really good. And then I think she also had a random negative effect. She had 2 random negative effects, which was pretty good. So overall, I do really think that Demise could be a good monster if we got an updated version of her. So yeah, those are all 5 of the monsters that I would love to see updated versions of. We have Wormlad, Greycon, any Warmaster really, Kihaku, and Demise. So let me know down in the comments what monsters you would like to see mythic versions of, and I'll go ahead and check them out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.